Thanks for joining us. This is TV360 News. I am Olayemi Eson. As part of efforts to defeat the Boko Haram insurgency, the government of Benin says it will deploy 150 troops next month to assist the regional task force battling the Islamic militant group. A statement from the task force confirmed this on Tuesday. Boko Haram has survived attempts by African armies to destroy it. Bands of militants have also stepped up attacks in the Lake Chad region, threatening regional security. Benin says its troops will act as a reserve intervention force. They are the last from the 5 countries involved in the African Union-led force to be deployed. The Swiss government has confirmed that it has so far returned $723 million, about 142.43 billion naira, to stolen funds seized from the family of the late former head of state, Sani Abacha, to the Nigerian government over the last 10 years. The amount excludes $321 million, about 63.24 billion naira, which the Swiss authorities recently said it was planning to repatriate to Nigeria. Those details are contained in an agreement signed on March 8, 2016 in Abuja by representatives of the Swiss Federal Council and the Nigerian governments. The former head of service in Nigeria has pleaded not guilty to a 2-count charge of fraud and criminal conventional of 900 million naira. Steve Orosaye is alleged to have committed the crime while he held sway as chairman of Presidential Committee on Financial Action Task Force. Orosaye, who was charged along with 2 others, was asked to deposit his travel documents with the count to fully secure his bail. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has ordered the seal-off of the Lekki Gardens following the collapse of a 5-story building within the site on March 8, where 34 people died. Ambode announced the decision during a news conference at the Lagos House, Alausa, shortly after an inspection tour of the site in Lekki area of the state. Ambode said an integrity test would be done on all other buildings constructed by the developer in the state, whether occupied or not, to ascertain their structural stability. Earlier, the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Wasiu Anifowoshi, advised residents in the estate to vacate the buildings to allow the government carry out integrity tests on them. As part of efforts to ensure the issue of gender parity continues to take center stage in the Nigerian society, the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, in collaboration with the Center for Black and African Arts Civilization, organized a forum in Lagos, southwest Nigeria. The aim of the event was to encourage gender equality at all levels of the society. Former First Lady of Cross River, Onari Duke, who was a guest speaker at the event, said the time had come for women to take charge.
No one gives you power. No one gives you power. What did I capture? No one gives you power. Within the bounds of legality and moral rectitude, you must take it. Eleanor Rosa said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. Is that true? Yes. Well, how often do some of us women allow other people to make them feel inferior? Currently, there are 22 women heads of state around the world, such as Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia, and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina Wajid of Bangladesh. Additionally, in Nigeria, for the last 8 years and presently, women have held key ministerial positions such as finance, petroleum, as well as chaired major government agencies like FIRS, etc. It is not uncommon to see bank CEOs who are women, Shola Bora, Stanbic, and Bola Adeshola of Stanchart, Funke Oshibodu of Union Bank previously. These are just a few examples of these exceptional women and more widely known corporations. Nevertheless, we cannot relax on our guards, knowing that we do have the capacity and we are capable and being able to be at par with the men. And these women have shown this by rising up to these levels. We cannot relax on our guards, for we still have a long way to go. In terms of the general world population and the number of countries in the world, these success stories are by far outnumbered by the failures of other companies and indeed governments. If we do not continue in our push for equality, we run the risk of the momentum that we have built thus far waning, thus resulting in our progress becoming stagnant, or worse still, regressing to the position we held previously.
The organizers of the event also say culture may have a significant influence on gender parity in Nigeria.
The perspective we are bringing in that it might be different is the cultural perspective, and that's why we have collaborated with CBAC. We're saying that even culture does not have to be an hindrance to gender equality. We're saying that our brains do not have genitals. And so if our brains do not have genitals, we're all human beings. We can all bring something to the table. We have values that we can bring to the table. We can help society be better. And we've also found that culture is a major issue why there's inequality between men and women in our society. Culture has its stereotypes. Culture has its enforcement of practices that are not encouraging women to be able to work at par with other people, with men. And so this particular program is to bring the cultural aspect out and to help girls and women have the chance they should have to be able to be at par with their male folks.
President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed to punish the individuals responsible for the killings and the build-up to the rerun elections in Rivers State. Speaking at a meeting with the Nigerian residents in Equatorial Guinea, Muhammadu Buhari condemned the killings, describing them as barbaric and unacceptable. He vowed that electoral violence in any form would no longer be tolerated. The president also promised to ensure that Nigerians in diaspora are not excluded from the country's election. Hundreds of Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination candidates on Tuesday held a protest at the Lagos State House of Assembly in Alausa, Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. The candidates are expressing their displeasure at the conduct of the election, describing it as a sham. Some of the students were also angered by the failure of the speaker or any lawmaker in the assembly to address them. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has been awarded with the highest national honor of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the president was given the award on his personal fight against terrorism, personal integrity, and leadership style. Buhari, however, assured the people of Equatorial Guinea that Nigeria would continue to assist them and ensure socio-political and economic stability of its neighbors and the entire African continent. At least 4 victims of last Friday's gas explosion at the Central Bank of Nigeria's office in Calabar have been confirmed dead out of 15 taken to the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital. Chief Medical Director of UCTH, Dr. Thomas Agan, confirmed their death, saying the degree of damage meted on them by the explosion led to their death. Agan told reporters that the hospital would ensure that the condition of the remaining victims are stabilized. Police rescue kidnapped children in Plateau State have rescued 2 infants from a den of kidnappers and apprehended some criminals terrorizing the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Adekunle Oladuije, stated that the commander's efforts from intensive patrols raids, intelligence-led policing and community partnership contributed in checkmating the criminal elements in the states. You're watching TV360 News. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man that you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like that, I'm going girl, you know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few.
I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We do the way you do.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, they will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. The federal government says it has uncovered discrepancies of about 3.3 trillion naira in the remittance of funds by various ministries, departments and agencies of government, as well as foreign missions in the 2014 fiscal year. This was contained in the 2014 annual audit report presented to the National Assembly by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. According to the document, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation did not remit 3.3 trillion naira to the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee in 2014. The former Niger Delta militant leader, Government Ekpemo Polo, alias Klompolo, has accused leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, of feeling its problem with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to seek favor from President Muhammadu Buhari. The EFCC had charged Klompolo and a former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Patrick Akpobolo-Kemen, alongside 8 others with 45.9 billion naira fraud. He made the statement through his media advisor, Paul Bebeni-Mebo, accusing the APC leaders of the instigating Buhari and security agencies with false information that he is planning to fight the federal government by destroying pipelines and other oil facilities in the Niger Delta region. The National Agency for Food, Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has shut down 30 water factories in Nasarawa State between 2015 and 2016. The acting NAFDAC Director General, Oyetunde Onyi, disclosed this on Tuesday at the occasion of the annual water quality monitoring event in Lafia. She urged the public to help the agency with relevant information on poor products based on their experience and the activities of illegal operators of water factories. Nigeria's annual consumer inflation rate rose 11.4% in February, 176 basis points higher than in January, to near a 3.5-year high. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) showed on Tuesday. Africa's biggest economy is facing its worst economic crisis in decades, fueled by the collapse in crude prices, which has slashed government revenues, weakened the currency, and caused growth to slow. The economy grew 2.8% last year, its lowest pace in decades. Nigeria's telecoms regulator has restored regulatory services to MTN Group, the South African mobile phone operators said on Tuesday. The Nigerian Communications Commission prevented MTN from raising tariffs and launching promotions in October last year after it failed to cut off 5 million unregistered SIM cards. This also led to a $5.2 billion fine being imposed on the company. The NCC eventually reduced it after talks between both parties. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) said $38 per barrel oil benchmark is achievable by April, as projection proposed that prices will go over the benchmark then. The Group Executive Director of Finance NNPC, Isiaka Abdulrazak, identified this while informing the Senate Committee on Finance in Abuja. He expressed confidence that the pace in oil and gas production would be maintained if security condition in the region was maintained. The United Nations has urged countries to relieve Syria's overburdened neighbors by offering no less than 480,000 places for Syrian refugees in the next few years. At the same time, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, and North African countries have taken in 4.8 billion Syrians. According to the global body, governments around the world have so far pledged 170,000 places for Syrians. And still on foreign scene, Belgian security forces are hunting for at least 2 men after shots were fired at police during a counter-terrorism raid in capital Brussels. The incident took place in the southern suburb of Forest. 3 officers were reportedly hurt, one of them severely. A prosecutor said the raid was linked to the Paris attacks, which killed about 130 people last November. A major police operation is now underway with streets sealed off and a helicopter flying overhead. And on sport, former Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise has denied receiving any payment from the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) prior to his resignation from the national team. He also revealed he had withdrawn his lawsuit filed against the Nigerian Football Federation. Olise, who was appointed in July 2015, announced his resignation on February 2016 with a post on his official Twitter account citing unpaid wages as part of the reasons for his resignation. However, in another YouTube video, the former Eagles captain has denied receiving any money from the NFF. He maintained his stance that the NFF owed him a backlog with salaries before his resignation and slammed the NFF for not showing enough interest in the progress of the national team. He shared a photo of his Zenith Bank statement to back up his claims.
The reality is that I decided to resign on the 25th of February because certain vested interests in the NFF put their own interests first before the interest of our country. But I also believe that Nigerians deserve to know the truth. I feel that it is important to know that my position as regards Nigeria coming first was a hindrance to the personal interest of certain vested interests in the NFF. And for that reason, anybody who's going to come in and be in my position as chief coach and who puts Nigeria first will always have problems. That is for sure. Now, this also explains why important or very necessary expenditures that are important for the progression of our country, like wages of the players, the benefits of the players, the coaches, are always placed secondary, whereas other expenditures that have very little bearing to the progression of our country will always be catered to first. For example, team building trips that are not important for our national team to progress. I also feel, in order to not let Nigerians get the true picture, they are hell-bent on tarnishing my credibility. And that is why they've come up with this story like they paid me and then I left. I have attached underneath here, since I'm no longer going ahead with the lawsuit, I've attached underneath here the statement of my account of the Zenith Bank, the bank that the NFF dealt with me, the few occasions I've been paid. I've attached it underneath here. And you can see from the month of February that there is no payment that was made from NFF to me up till the time I resigned on the 25th, and even waywards after that on the 29th, the month ended. You can see that.
That was the former Super Eagles coach there, Sunday Olise. Still on sports, Italian Football Federation President Carlos Tavecchio has confirmed that head coach Antonio Conte will leave his post after this summer's Euro 2016, fueling rumors of a possible move to Chelsea. The former Juventus coach is Chelsea's prime target to replace interim coach Giles Hiddick, who is departing this summer. A formal announcement is expected later today, but the Federation president, speaking outside the governing body's home in Rome, confirmed the 46-year-old has made clear his intention to depart. Chelsea are expected to confirm his arrival on the 3-year contract in the coming weeks. And that's TV360 News Now. My name is Olayemi Esson.